Yeah, no, we are live.
We are live. We are live. Okay, my voice sounds okay. How about you, Arnaud?
Test.
Arnaud.
Test 1, test 2.
Okay, seems to be good. Yep. Oh my gosh, we already got one. Wolfman says, "What if Satoshi is not the first? Is Bitcoin going to zero?" Oh man, if Satoshi is not the first, that's a good question. Oh Jesus. But I mean, he's still here, right? So I guess that's. If I'm not the first, then go 1x short. Well, we already are, aren't we? I mean, it's a hedge against Ethereum, right? Longs that we took. I mean, we will talk more about it, yeah. But yeah, today, if you saw, I think I saw it in local papers, or was it local papers? Maybe it was international papers. Then in America, they actually confiscated $1 billion worth of bitcoins, which is like 69,000 bitcoins from one guy who used to be a main guy at Silk Road or something like that. I don't even know. You know, so 69,000 bitcoins are out of the system, guys. That's even more bullish for us. So now, what is like 75% of Bitcoin already lost to the depths of the ocean? So yeah, yep. So welcome, guys. Welcome, Classic David. Wait, I'm not sure. Classic David. Were you here the last time? Hey, Alex. Well, I'm glad you made it on time, but I don't seem to remember your name. Maybe you were here the last time. I'm apologizing. I'm not sure. Well, we are yet here again, huh? The last stream we had was on 3rd. Where we were on 3rd. Oh, we were down here. Okay. We were still figuring out if it's gonna continue or not. But yes, boys, yes. Let's see what's going on the Bitcoin, right? Let's see what have been up to. Okay, let me just remove the drawings. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so the main 14k area, right, that we mostly scouted on mainly here, because we were thinking of, okay, if it's gonna start going sideways here, we will start selling Bitcoin. And yes, it did a little bit of a sideways. We did take one scalp short, if I remember correctly, but that scalp short only gave us one TP and then kind of wrecked us. I mean, stopped us and just flied. And now on Bitcoin, we had a first breakdown on the smaller time frames. Now, if you've watched my video on Bitcoin about that, I spoke all about that. But first, to clear the motion on the higher time frames, when you look at a Bitcoin like this from a daily standpoint, right, from a daily, you can still see Bitcoin is pretty much still very, very bullish, right? There's nothing missing to it, right? I mean, you can still see that we barely haven't really tapped any potential of the bottom levels. So what it means, like, we never went even to the bottom to test one of the levels, and we have, for the instance, we have many untested levels because of that, right? So yeah, scrolling back in, a little bit on lower time frames, is, you might be asking, right? We took a short on Bitcoin, but that short on Bitcoin that we took was emphasis on our longs on Ethereum, right? So again, made a video about Ethereum and why I think Ethereum will actually be better than Bitcoin on this next run that is sort of coming, right? So yes, Bitcoin has overstretched itself by a lot. We will also check out Bitcoin dominance chart, and you will see we have sort of reached the kind of maximum points that we expect Bitcoin to go. And the problem is, if we go past these points, we could have been in serious troubles in terms of alts or Ethereum as well, right? So we are not expecting that we will go past these points. That's why we think that Ethereum is gonna perform better than Bitcoin in the upcoming month, right? Or I should say, in the next part of November, right? Obviously, we were also struck this week by elections. I mean, previous week, right? And there was interesting analogies that I've seen, some people take, that it depends really much who will win the elections, that depends a lot on Bitcoin. And at the beginning, I didn't think about it like that, but now if I think about it again, it's like right now if the Biden wins election, and he did win elections, right? I'm not one of those guys who is calling everything that is fake, right? But people actually expect the dollar to go down, right? The dollar is going to be weakened, and since dollar is going to be weakened, well, everybody will race into crypto. And why the dollar should be weakened is mostly because Biden is focusing much more on social status of America, right? So he's more helping the poor, focusing more on their healthcare systems and all of that, while Trump always focused on business, right? I mean, Trump was one of the rare presidents who said "fuck you, China," right, and just basically sent them to hell, right? So yeah. That's a very interesting analogy, and I do think they have a good point there, and this actually propel the Bitcoin in upcoming years quite a lot. It just depends on how much really Biden is going to focus on markets, right, and how much he's going to do everything else. Okay, so yeah, on the lower time frame, so due to the fact that we took larger positions on Ethereum, right, so we are heavily went into Ethereum, we obviously wanted to take a little bit of a precaution scalp short. Wait, I'm being spammed on Telegram for some reason. Let me just exit those so it doesn't. Okay, thank you very much. So due to precaution, we took a little bit of a scalp right here on Bitcoin, right, as a hedge position, and we also had already the first profit target hit. And I like to take these hedges in those sorts of positions. I mean, I love when market actually offers me a hedge position against my main longs, right? Because the fact is, right, we filled Ethereum around down here, right? And Ethereum already, by the time we went into our short, Ethereum already stretched itself up for like 5 or 7%, something like that, right? And then we managed to get a same kind of a short on the Bitcoin, right? So right now, the strategy is simple right now. If you position yourselves the same as I did, is like this, right? You're just waiting on which side are we gonna go, right? Because essentially speaking, if Bitcoin drops all the way down to here where we have to test levels, or potentially even all the way down to 12k, right? So it might be here, or it might be 12k, right? Yes, our Ethereum longs will no doubtably be stopped, at least the latest one, right? But speaking of which, right, it doesn't matter, because if we go down, we make a little bit of a money on Bitcoin short, but if we go up, we make a lot more money on Ethereum, right? The purpose of hedge is that you don't lose, no matter which position it goes, you just don't lose, right? And this is why I'm trying to target a lot when I do this hedge trading, and I'm really happy when they offer me this kind of hedges, right? Because ultimately speaking, you make less money than the guys who focus into one side. That is pretty logical, right? But your sleep is a lot better, your capital is more preserved, right? And if you know me by now, I'm all about safety and capital preservation, right? I go for a smaller money, but more consistent money than everybody else, right? Because everybody else, if they're not trying to short and Bitcoin keeps on wrecking them, they're just losing money all around, right? So yeah. Why are you charting BTC at Bitmex, not Coinbase, Bitstamp, or Binance? Okay, so that's a good question. I guess it's just force of habit. I've traded Bitmex since the start of it. I mostly traded, most of my trades were taken at Bitmex by far margin. If I was spot trading BTC, which I'm mostly spot trading when Bitmex went to hell, right? I'm mostly spot trading either Bitstamp, right? Because it's just my main exchange where I can cash out really easily, and like to take the profits every month and cash it out to real world as well, right? Because you gotta pay yourself, right, for the successes. So yeah, and I guess it's just force of habit. I don't really know. I mean, the charts are not that much different, and plus back in the day, maybe today it's probably not true anymore, but back in the day, the Bitmex has had the most real volume, right? So it was the most defined exchange where you would actually go and kind of see which level is important and so on, right? And I do still think it is, I don't think that matters that much if I would change a chart right now. I mean, the lines are still pretty clear. I mean, Bitmex still, looking to me at least, has a lot of volume, right? I mean, I'm still seeing a lot of volume in Bitmex. So even though they introduced KYC and they got arrested, or some of them, right? I'm not sure what happened there, right? There still seems to be a lot of people that trust them. I personally don't trust them anymore. I'm not trading on Bitmex. I'm keeping clear out of it, because right now, I mean, if you ask me, I mean, it's not safe anymore, right? It's definitely not safe. I couldn't trust them anymore because they have a bunch of different troubles. Essentially, Bitmex could close down. They could pay a large fee to the FCC, right? And then they could just enjoy their money forever, right? So yeah, I'm not trusting that exchange anymore at the moment, right? Fozino asks, if he trusts that Ethereum will outperform BTC, isn't there better to trade pair against ETH, but which one will outperform ETH? Lol. Well, so wait, so you're asking me, okay, so you're asking me if it's better to trade alts against ETH? Because then essentially what you're doing, right? So let me put it like this. This short that we took on a Bitcoin was less than 50% probable to play out, right? Due to the fact that we actually only had a small time frame breakdown, right? It's a small time frame breakdown. We have nothing on the hard time frames. If you go on daily, this is still very much bullish. You cannot call this bearish at all. And even if you see somebody calling this on Twitter bearish, that's just stupid, you know? Like, don't listen to them because they haven't lost any levels. Bitcoin can easily go all the way down to 12K. All the way down to 12K and rebounds, right? All the way and go even above 20K, right? So calling Bitcoin bearish on higher time frames is stupid, right? So I don't even care if somebody does it. It's just not correct, right? So yeah, smaller time frames show the first breakdown and we're being a little bit bearish. That's why we took the short. But essentially speaking, you have to understand one thing, right? So you're trading Bitcoin, which is the king of crypto, right? Bitcoin is at the moment still a king of crypto. I know Ethereum has a lot more apps and taps on it and has a lot more usage if you ask me, right? But it's not perfect, but it's better than Bitcoin, to be honest. It has more usage than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin at the end of the day, it's still the king. Then inside a Bitcoin, you take Ethereum trade, right? So if your Bitcoin trade is, let's just say that you're bullish right now, it's about 80%, right? And then you take the trade on Ethereum against Bitcoin, well, that 80%, let's just say, drops down to 60%, right? And now imagine, now you go in Ethereum and you even find an alt that would outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin. Well, now we're talking about 40 to 30%, right? Your success ratio will drop a lot. Obviously, if you're, I like to say, if you're a little bit of a greedy person, right? You will go for these 100x coins. But I've said many times in the past, you gotta, when you go for 100x coins, you gotta act smart to it, right? Because essentially speaking, if you go in CoinGecko right now, you will see that, wait, where's the, okay, so yeah, we got 6,028 coins. The previous week when we did our stream, this number was under 6K. I think it was like 5,995. So you see that you got 6,000 coins to pick from for you to find a coin that's going to go X100. And it's not going to be a lot of them. Trust me, right? I mean, there's going to be a couple of them that will go X100, right? There will be a lot more that will outrun Ethereum. But, you know, those coins will probably like 1%. So 1% of those 6,000 coins will outrun Ethereum, right? And Bitcoin together. Now imagine your pick ratio when it comes to it. And I already explained this issue in the past because most of the alts right now, if we're going to talk about in a minute about Bitcoin dominance, when I'm going to show it, you will see that now when Bitcoin dominance starts declining, most of the alts will give you a good entry. Most of the alts will make a small, will make an early retracement, or should I say early trend change pattern, and you will have probability to enter them, right? You will have possibility to enter them, right? But now, most of those that will make the pattern won't do shit, right? They will just move for like 10 to 15%, but some of those will move for like 500, 600%, but that 500, 600% of those 500 and 600%ers are very, very rare, right? And also, we got issue is, the market cap. The market cap is still pretty much low from the previous stop. Now, market cap back in the day was like 850 billions, right? And down here we had about 1,000, 2,000 projects. And now, coming here, you got 400. So you got half of the market cap you used to have here, but now you got 6,000 projects and something. And just mind you that not all of the projects are listed on CoinGecko, right? If you go on Uniswap, you got bunch of shit. You got so many scams on Uniswap, it's just crazy, right? And each of those scams eats a couple of K away, right? Some of these projects eat 100K, 200K, 300K, right? And they essentially are eating away market cap that could be potentially added, on top of something, right? So if you look at the Binance back in the day, if I remember 2017, right? When I went on Binance and coin was listed on Binance, that coin was gonna go only up. Because everything that was listed on Binance, which was Moon, or even back then we were mostly traded on Bittrex, right? So most of the coins on Bittrex performed really well, right? Today it's not the true, because today if you list a coin on Binance, it's not even that big of a deal anymore, right? The coin doesn't do the same thing. For example, like, Keeper. Wait, what's the Keeper? Wait, what? What's the name for it? Arnaud Key 3PR? Or P3R? Okay, yeah. Okay, so this one was listed, right? I mean, look at it. Back in the day, the coin like this would have... Wait, what is that? No. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but wait, yeah. So, okay. So now, if you look at this coin today, right? This coin was really hot. I'm pretty sure you all heard of him. It was from Andre Coronia project. Really interesting stuff, right? I mean, if you look at it from the chart, from the perspective, Keeper went on Uniswap, went all the way up to 360. All the way up to 360, then dropped. And then when it was listed on Binance, look at that, it only just declined. It only started declining with a small pullbacks, but mostly declining, and even lost a level right here, right? So you can see the Binance didn't even do that big of a deal. Most of the big of a deal was Uniswap, right? So you can already see the Binance is not the king when it comes to this. It's mostly Uniswap, and obviously if you have the right kind of people in it, it's gonna be good as well. But I already explained to you, I already did like 2 videos on Keeper, and I do still think it's gonna go to the level that I tagged in that video, and looks like it's coming soon, or I'm not even sure if it happened already. It went down to like $103, and I think my level was like 70 or something. I'm not sure, right? But yeah, I would have to use the chart text from Uniswap, because there you can see those better. But you can see, the point is, if the more coins you go, so if you go from BTC to Ethereum, from Ethereum to altcoin, your success percent ratio goes down. And when I'm trading, I'm not trading the way that you think. Like, I'm not trading the way to outrun Ethereum and to outrun BTC. No, because I mostly trade USDT contracts. I mostly care about my monetary value, so my fiat going up, So when at the end of the day, if I see a good opportunity on altcoin, right, I'm gonna take it. But that doesn't mean that altcoin outperform BTC. It doesn't mean that at all. But most of my money is in USDT, because I just go into trades and I sell it back in. Go into trades, sell it back in, and at the end of the month, I always cash out the profits that I've made, right? So when I got to sort of a account, like when I was happy with my how big my account is, I just kind of sort of start pulling out a little bit of money every time. I mean, every month, right? And due to the fact, mostly you can't extend your account too far in crypto, due to the fact that, volume is pretty poor in crypto. Like, selling, like, I used to have biggest issue selling 50K positions, right? Selling 50K position on altcoins, it's a nightmare on Binance, right? So yeah, I mean, obviously I trade a lot of standard markets, like I trade a lot of Forex, right? And in Forex, I have no problem selling 50K, right? In Forex, 100K gets filled up immediately, right? So crypto is still far, far away from those levels, right? Of money being thrown around, right? But I mean, essentially, it can slowly get to up there, right? So yeah, going back to Ethereum right now. So yeah, we took some longs at it. And right now, let's do analysis on it. So I did this for the video, so I'm gonna delete their drawings right now. So yes, right now, because Bitcoin extended it so much, before I was expecting that Ethereum would go around to $600, but now I actually see a possibility that Ethereum fills this large gap that we have, and actually goes from $600 to $800. And I do think, as I explained in the video, that this is probably, I'm going to be looking at the top range of this box. So I'm going to be probably looking at around, the sweet spot seems to be around 750, something like this, right? Is what I'm expecting for a sweet spot for Ethereum, right? I do think that Ethereum is gonna outrun the BTC. You know, it's just slowly prepping up. And even when you look at the chart like this, and if you go back to Bitcoin, if we compare these two charts, Bitcoin is here, right? This is Bitcoin, this is Ethereum, right? So you can see that there's a huge gap was created between the two, right? So right now we can possibly go and close this gap, especially with the 2.0 Ethereum coming out, and you will be also, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, you can stack 32 Ethereum, you can lock it in for 2 years and you get API with it. I'm not sure how big the API is going to be, like I don't know how much money you're going to you're going to be getting per year for that. But if you go check it out, this contract is already live for Ethereum 2.0, and I'm not sure when the period is gonna open for you to stake 32 Ethereums in it, so that you will get continuously the money, right, for the next 2 years. So also, if you're planning to do something like this already, do mind that 2 years is a freaking long time in crypto. You know, in 2 years, crypto could be, I mean, Ethereum could be very well above 1.4K. But Ethereum could also possibly be very well below $80. So don't think that, you know, it's a sure bet that this is one of the one kind of opportunities and everything like that. Because the API is probably not going to be that big. And imagine, right, if Ethereum goes all the way 1.4K, right? Like you're like, I don't know, 5 months in, and Ethereum touches 1.4K and then starts breaking down bearish again, you know, and you won't be able to sell because you're gonna be locked in. And then we're gonna go all the way down and test some like 300 levels again, $300 levels, right? And for the people, and there will be a lot of people when the price does come up to 1.4K, they're gonna say, well, it's not possible to touch $300 again. That is absolute bullshit. You know, that is absolute bullshit. And that can happen. So yeah, so you can already know if you sold your Ethereum up here and you rebought it down here, that would be a lot more than what you're probably gonna make in the, you know, all of this period. But if you the kind of guy who just you know, who just wants to do something, just invest it for long term, and you're not really following crypto that much, just throw it in and then come back 2 years later, and it's like you could be your tag on tag retirement investment. But don't get me wrong, that investment is a very risky one, because crypto has nothing to do, like we don't know where crypto is going to be in the next 2, 3, 5 years. I know everybody expecting moon and Lambos, but you know, it is still a very risky investment, and you don't know if it's going to go live. And also you need to ask yourself, you know, yes, the Germans are making their own cryptocurrency, so digital euro. Yes, the Americans will probably go on digital USD as well, because, you know, essentially they printed too much money out. And most of these digital currencies won't be based on Bitcoin. They will probably be far away from Bitcoin as they could, right? So don't think if Germany releases digital euro, the Bitcoin is going to go to the moon, because it probably won't have to do anything with them. Of course, people will misinterpret that at the beginning, and there could be some good pumps, right? But when people figure out that maybe they're not doing so good for crypto, you know, it can also be fast down like we had here, right? So always gotta mind this. So yeah, Ethereum right now, what are we looking at? What are we like expecting for Ethereum right now? So yeah, Ethereum right now definitely made a great recovery, right? So I was sort of talking that it's possible short here, up here as well, but I was saying that I won't take it. I would rather take it on Bitcoin, and I'm glad I did, you know. Even though Ethereum short would have played out as well, I don't think it would be as good as Bitcoin. Let me see how much it pulled back, for only 5%. So yeah, it wouldn't be as good as Bitcoin. But for Ethereum, we filled some longs right here, and the main long area right now, if you haven't had any, is this right now. This is now a pretty clear long area. Of course, the stop loss is going to be a little bit fatter, but this is the area where we absolutely don't want to go underneath it anymore, right? So yes, you can see the stop is about 9%, $30, but this is the sort of area where we absolutely don't want to go underneath it anymore, because we do want to hold this area for us to go higher all the way up to $600, right? And also I said, you know, I will be stretching my first profit target quite wide here, right? You know, I will be stretching my first profit target for this trade. Obviously I have more down underneath, but I am stretching my first profit target quite wide, because I do think if there's ever an opportunity to take a wider profit target, it could be now, right? And I did the same on some alts, you know. So yeah, essentially on some alts you get stopped even after a good move. So yeah, it's not always sunshine and rainbows when you do this. But in times like this, it's also worth it, you know, because one trade like this could possibly cover you for next 4 to 5 months, right? And you and you sort of go and anticipate a bigger move. And this is mostly for spot traders, right? So this is not for leverage trades. I wouldn't do this with leverage. I do like to secure my trades when I'm using leverage a lot faster. But when I'm doing spot trading, because, you know, positions that I basically put on my cold wallet and they stay there for a couple of months, right? Or sometimes even a year, I usually do it like this. I always go for a wide profit target because that's my sense, and then I just go and leverage and trade beneath, you know, the structures in between, right? It's always different. It's always different structures, and the markets do change a little bit as well. You know, when there's less money in the market, like in crypto, the markets tend to way overreact. When there's more money in it, you know, it has more basic structures and so on, you know. So the crypto market changes all the time, constantly as well, right? So also if you check the Bitcoin Ethereum chart, yes. Yeah, also if you check the Bitcoin Ethereum chart, so yes, we have reclaimed back the area that we said if we reclaim it back, there's also gonna be a long position. And wanted to talk about this one in this chat, in this one as well, because we already had one trade here and we had absolutely no reaction to it. So then I said I wouldn't be chasing any more trades on this one unless we reclaim this area, and right now we have reclaimed the area, right? So this is for the guys who are now asking like if we can outrun BTC, and yes, this is the area where we have to absolutely hold it right now. We have to claim it, hold it. We actually did sort of claim it already, but now we have to hold it, and if we hold this area, then yes, we will outrun BTC by good margin. So let's see, the stop loss is about 7%, so it's actually smaller than on Bitcoin. And also the profit target here has to be quicker. So the most safest profit target here, again, would be this, right? And this is the reason for that is because this is another main area, right? But if you're going for something more, I could, like, you know, turn a blind eye and actually go for a little bit more, right? For something like this, because I do think this is gonna be a rejection area. So yeah, if this one won't reject, the next one will for sure, right? I don't see it from going from here all the way to the top, breaking the top without a single pullback. Like, you would seriously need a good bull run for that to happen, right? So these two areas are next to watch, right? If we can reclaim this area, why I think, right? So we can reclaim this area, and why wouldn't take the profit target here? Because if we reclaim this area and we go all the way up to here, we will most likely return to the area and test it from the other side as well, where you can refill your long, right? Or should I say, add an addition to it, depends on what you're trading, right? You know, put stop loss something like this for like 4 or 5%, right? And you can actually have a run that will last you above the top, right? And you know, if we get to up here, we should be somewhere close to $600 already, right? So we should be somewhere close to 600, maybe even $700. Depends on how much Bitcoin is gonna, you know, overreact in those times. So you can already see pretty much that we have a pretty good basis right now for why we should continue on Ethereum, right? Than not just Bitcoin. So I'm not just, you know, saying this out of some sort of a perspective. Like, I'm not guessing that Bitcoin is gonna be overrun. I'm kind of stating the facts, right? So Ethereum Bitcoin chart managed to go again above the main area, and you can even zoom out and even see to the left, right? This is a pretty important area for this entire structure, right? So yes, this is fact number 2. Fact number 1. The fact number 2 would then be follow on Bitcoin dominance chart. As you can see, the fact number 2 is not this. So we all know that it's gonna be a pump there, but we've guessed that either we will stop here or we will stop in the next in the second circle. And right now, luckily, we did stop at the second circle. We rejected it, right? And now we are hoping that it's gonna go here and lose this level, right? If it loses this level, this is gonna be a reason number 3, right? So the reason number 2 is that we rejected this box. The reason number 3 would be to lose this level right here, right? Which is, again, acts as an important area. As you can see, why this is an important area. When we came the first time up, we tested it, we came down, we tested it again, rejected again, went from the other side, tested it again, right? And you can see that every time this area was tested, it was mostly some sort of a reaction from it, right? So when you had a reaction from it, it just, you know, you just kind of substitutes into that importance of the area, right? So the thing is right now, and in crypto, you got to do a little bit of a guessing game, right? Because also that being said, if it goes under this and, you know, you kind of lose this level, it's probably going to be too late for you to enter the Ethereum right now because Ethereum is going to escape. See, that's the issue why you have to why we jump in early and we're making these conclusions early to why Ethereum is going to outrun the BTC and why it's not going to be vice versa, and, you know, just trying to find these reasonings on multiple charts, right? Because I'm pretty sure, like, if we move down here and we go under, Ethereum is going to be well over $500, and, you know, we're gonna totally miss the entire run of Ethereum, or should I say, you won't be having a good chance to refill it or fill it to begin with, right? So sometimes you just gotta go on a limb and just take a stab at it, right? And I guess the number 4 reason could be, you know, Ethereum 2.0 in December. Ethereum, you're gonna be able to stake 32 Ethereums, right? So just imagine how many thousands of people will stake it for 2 years, right? And just imagine how many Ethereums will move from the markets and go into lockdown, right? So that's pretty much it, right? I mean, also if you think about DeFis, right, which was really popular now for how long? I don't know. They were popular really for like 3 months. They had a 90% pullback, right? And I do think we show that on FTX, right? I mean, Arnaud, I think we look at the DeFi index on FTX, right?
Yeah.
It was down for 90%. Holy shit, don't you think that 90% will now do a little bit of a recovery? You know? So imagine, right? Like Ethereum goes up, people start using DeFi a little bit again, and obviously what we're gonna have an issue, Ethereum gas is gonna go up. And Ethereum gas a couple of days ago was on 21, now it's on 72 again, right? So now you can see that Ethereum will probably slowly start picking up again as well, right? So you have multiple reasons right now, multiple structures that kind of give you the fact why Ethereum could outrun BTC, right? And at the end of the day, Ethereum is still not king, but, you know, if you're gonna do a trade, just do your research and do it smartly, right? And in this case, I did some research, and a lot of the points are facing towards my, you know, current Ethereum strength. So I'm just, you know, I would be lying to myself if I wouldn't be rather taking trade on Ethereum right now, or should I say longs on Ethereum right now than on Bitcoins, right? So yeah, saying that, you know, I also took the safe route. Because when you're doing this research, and there's also one important point, when you're doing this research and you just state all the facts that I did, the next step was what's going to happen, that many people are going to jump immediately on it. I was like, oh shit, he said that, oh my gosh, I'm suddenly so bullish on Ethereum, and now you're getting these urges, right? So yes, it's really easy to convince yourself that you should be bullish on something. It's super easy, trust me. It can happen in just 10 minutes, right? But when I do this, I also hedge myself, as you can see this, right? So I didn't go stupidly all into Ethereum. No, I also, you know, did some trades on Bitcoin and shorted it in case if it goes the other way and I'm completely wrong, right? So yeah, if Ethereum goes up now, I will make a lot more money than I would do on Bitcoin short. But the important thing is that I don't lose no matter which direction it goes, right? You kind of win no matter in which direction it goes, right? So it's also very important for you to always look at this from the second standpoint point, right? So, you know, just don't think just in the box, think outside the box. You gotta be seeing the whole picture, right? And you're never gonna be 100% right. And also, if you were 100% right for the previous times, you know, your ratio of being right the next time also goes down, because trading, we are playing the odds. At the end of the day, trading is playing the odds, right? I always rank my trades by how high the probability ratio is. And since I already said, we broke down on smaller time frames on the Bitcoin. And I know this from my personal statistics because I tracked my statistics now for years and years, right? I've been in this business for 7-8 years right now, right? So from my personal statistics, I know if Bitcoin breaks down and I'm only taking a trade on smaller time frame, it's less than 55% of working out, right? So less than 50% of working out, which means that my target has to be bigger for me to be profitable, right? I can't be taking like 1 or 2 hour profit targets if it's less than 50%, right? And, you know, when I take the big levels, like the giant one, the main areas, then my hit ratio is more like 60 to 70%, and then my profit targets can be taken a lot sooner to protect my position and add to that hit ratio, right? So it's difficult to do because it isn't logical to short and buy, but in fact it's just let the trade. Yeah, it's like you're not buying and selling at the same spot. This is what I was trying to say. You basically bought here, you went on a limp, you bought here, right? And then Bitcoin went up for like 5%, right? And then you shorted here, right? And right now, why is this such a lovely thing, right? Because essentially speaking, if you're gonna break this, you're gonna go higher. If you're gonna break this, you're gonna go lower, right? So right now you could say, okay, I'm just sitting back and I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to decide where it's gonna go, right? So if it's gonna go down here, it's gonna test a lot deeper. So not only you will get stopped on your buys, right? But you will also get opportunity to buy it much lower than your original entry was, right? So, and then during that time, you make a little bit of a money on your on your short, right? So you regain your losses from the thing you got stopped on longs, and you just make a little bit of money on short, right? And same things happen here, right? If it goes all the way up here, you get stopped on your short, but you make a little bit of money on longs, right? Because it's most likely gonna go to 17K if it breaks this, right? But due to the fact that we are bullish, right? And now how do you actually say this? Because now you go on daily time frame and you see a chart like this. Now you know your main form of your main way of position should be longs, right? Because on the higher time frames we are very much bullish, right? So now it's quite easy to define, right? So okay, so higher time frames we are bullish. So higher time frames have about 60 to 70% chances of us working out, while the short time frames, the small time frames have only less than 50% of working out, right? So yes, our idea is that we are going to win our long and we will make a lot more money if it goes up. But if those 30% plays out, and if you go to I don't know, if you ever play casino, and you put it on black and yellow, on black and red, right? You got 50-50, right? And if those 30% plays out, you don't lose anything at all because you shorted it much higher than what you originally bought it from, right? And you also have to look one thing. When you see a chart like this that hasn't tested anything from below, the reward going down is much higher than reward going up. And this is also why probabilities work with you, right? Even though you're short, let's just say it's 30% chances of playing out right now, right? I mean, your profit target is huge, right? Because your profit target, if it goes to test 12K, so around here we show, if it goes to test 12K, oh my god, am I using the wrong tools? If it goes to test 12K, it's 3.6K, and you can see the 3.6K, that's a significant drop and a big money maker in that case, right? So it's all about, trading smartly. So yes, like I always say, I know the Twitter guys and all this shit, they will tell you, yeah, bullish, 20K, 21K, who cares, right? They will all go into the moon. I even seen predictions like 400K. Okay, I'm like, okay, bro, so we are at 15K and you calling for 400K, by the next year. That's absolutely crazy, Like when you see shit like this, I mean, like, I just don't know how people even have guts to write something like this. I would be ashamed if I wrote something like this, right? So you just telling me that we're gonna go from 15K now to 400K. What do you got, like a crystal ball or something? That's just clear marketing shit right there. Just don't fall for that crap, right? Right now, any analyst saying that it's gonna go above to 20K easily is lying, because anything above 20K right now is bullshit. You don't know if it's gonna happen, right? So you can call it that the next point is going to be touched as 20K. I would tell them that's correct, because you got an area right now from 17K all the way to up to 20K. And due to the fact why this area exists is, again, when you came up and you created sideways, you did that last push where most of the whales sell, right? And then you rejected hard. You dropped it underneath this level, which is kind of, and you can see this is daily, and you probably already got a weekly close again underneath this level. You turned it bearish. That was the first sign that it's going to go bearish on higher time frames. And then you push it up again, and you kind of, you know, bounce it again after this. You didn't have enough power to push it all the way up to 20k to test it, and since you failed here the second time, right, you fall off. And now you see what you have created by doing this. You have created a giant gap, right? Wait, let me clear it up a little bit. Yeah. So you have now created a giant gap between this level, right, and this level right on the top. So this is now your area where Bitcoin can hit. So if people say Bitcoin can go all the way up to 20k right now, they're absolutely right. I have nothing to argue against that. But it can also go all the way up to 17k and then reject. It's the same thing. So Bitcoin is gonna test next, if we're gonna break up, it's gonna test between this area somewhere. It can be 70k, 18, 19, 20. It's gonna be somewhere around there, right? But for anybody saying that it's gonna go easily above 20k and that's new moon and 50k, that's where you start hitting the bullshit, you know? Because before this area hole is breaking, right, you cannot make such a big prediction. It's just not logical. You're using a crystal ball and you're predicting the future. And of course, like, you know, some of them will be right. Let's be honest, at the end of the day, right? But what I usually say, you know, there's thousands and thousands of people are wrong and one is right. And that one guy that is right is probably never going to be right again in his life when it comes to this shit, because the chances of hitting it are so small. You know, so, you know, that old saying that says even the blind chicken eventually finds seeds or something like that, right? So yeah, they eventually will find a seed, and I'm sure when this shit plays out, one of the guys who predicted this shit is gonna be right? But then he probably won't be right like in anything more in his life when it comes to trading, right? Because the chances of this being right about this whole prediction right now are way less than 1% probable, right? But there are ways to actually be right about something and be on 60 or 70% of the ratio, right? So you can be having that 60 or 70% strike rate, but it's not going to be far, far away in the future. It's going to be a lot more, right? That kind of prediction is only valid if it's 20k by January, 100k by, and this will make historical sense. Yeah, I mean, it will make historical sense, but still, you know, if you're observing the price action, you just wait for it. Because price action is basically like this, you know. You have your main areas on the charts, right? Those main areas have always reacted from, let's just say, from bottom side or from top side. It doesn't matter. They always react in some sense, right? So you go on the graph and you just draw these main areas, right? So let's just say here, right? And then we got one here and we got one here, right? And we have the one down here, right? And what you essentially are doing right now, right? You're just predicting that if we go above this area, we will touch the next main area. Or if we go under this area, we're gonna touch the next main area, right? That is basically what you're trying to predict, right? Now, obviously, if you were trading weekly timeframes and you did something like this, your strike ratio would be extremely high on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin respects this shit a lot. I'm not joking, right? Bitcoin is one of those, this is why I mostly traded so much crypto, because you wouldn't believe how these markets are so much easier than regular markets. When you go to Forex, doing this kind of shit like this, like on this such a basic terms that I'm showing you here, would have wrecked you like hell. But on Bitcoin, you have been awarded, man, like crazy. Like Bitcoin just came down 3k. I was like, it was just smashing buys hard in this area. And all I did then after that happened, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna wait till the 8k is hit. The 8k was hit, and then I was waiting. Are we gonna reject? We're gonna lose the level? We didn't. Well, I always told already Arnaud, well, if we go above 10k, we are gonna be on bull mode. Right, Arnaud?
Yeah.
You remember that? And then after I told we go above 12k, then I was waiting, let's go for 14k, right? And look, 14k, right? I mean, it wasn't even that complicated, right? If you did something like this in Forex, you would be totally wrecked. Like, you're totally wrecked like this, you know, if you're trading like this in Forex, or you're trading oil or like this, something like that, or gold, right? I mean, okay, gold is simpler than Forex as all. I mean, gold kind of moves in the similar directions, right? But yeah, and the biggest problem in crypto is most of the people don't have patience with this shit, right? I mean, most of the people you see today, they don't look graphs like this. They don't even know what the high time frame is, right? Most of the people are gonna zoom into 1 hour, and they're gonna be like this. They're gonna be like this, and they say, oh shit, we broke down. Oh my gosh, this is so bearish, short guy, short, you know? And then it wrecks them. And then suddenly they sold all of their Bitcoins here, and Bitcoin just continues to go, just flies off the shelf, right? It's just about, you know, reaching these main areas. You can make predictions, you can sell, but the only thing, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't lose the main areas, I'm not selling, right? Too much. That's what I'm saying, right? Like I was here, like, you know, I was waiting for it to break down because this was the main area, and I really thought because we went so deep that we won't go upper again, right? But I was waiting for the main area to break down, and it never did. You know, Arnaud, how many videos we made, and we still said, well, we're still holding it. We're still holding it, right? And look at how weak Bitcoin looked, right? I mean, you know how many times we talk, look how Bitcoin is so weak, man. How is this still holding, right? But for some fucking reason, we always held this area. We just couldn't lose this 8K, you know? And then suddenly, bam, the bull run started, just like that, right? And then, you know, we discussed that after bull run starts, that where's our buy area? 10K, right? Boom, 10K was tested, and now, since then, it's just flying, right? And, you know, and trust me, guys, this breakdown, this whole thing that happened here will happen again. That'll be the same kind of breakdown. And it's gonna be up to you if you're gonna hold this time again, right? If you're gonna just follow the breakdown, you know, and then you're gonna short these levels or sell your Bitcoins and just wait on lower, you know, on lower prices, or it's just gonna hold it all the way back down. And trust me, I know so many people that, you know, bought here and hold it all the way down here, you know, and then bounce. And I know people that didn't sell the shit, right? But that's okay, right? If you're a long-term investor and if you bought Bitcoin early, like I'm talking here early, then it's okay to hold, right? Because you made amazing money, even though it went from 20K to 3K, you still made amazing money, and that's perfectly fine if you're a long-term investor, right? But if you're like to trade, and you only trade when the Bitcoin goes up, but when it starts breaking down, you're too afraid to sell, and then I got bad news for you, you know? It's not gonna end good for you. Max, I just want to trade in between. I don't care if BTC, well, you know, Satoshi, then just trade in between, like I'm saying. If it's a 15K breaks, you have the next area 17 to 20K. If you're gonna start seeing bearishness here, don't be afraid to sell, you know, and just go. And just go down and short it, right? But also, if you're wondering what is wrong, what is your invalidation point? So maybe I should talk about this as well. Let's just say you misinterpret the area, and the area wasn't lost, and it actually turned out to still be bullish, and it still goes, right? So what do you do in that fact? You need to know your invalidation points. So in this case, when we're observing this area, where is our invalidation point? Well, I hope you answered that is above 20K, right? So yes. So if the price goes above 20K, now you actually learn that you sold your Bitcoin too late. And now a lot of people, again, and I've seen a lot of people do this, it's like, I don't know, they will sell 20K or something, right? Sorry, 20K. They will sell like, I don't know, 8K, right? And then Bitcoin is going to go to 12K, and they'll be like, oh, it's too late. It's too late. Now it's going to break down any minute now. It's not going to break down unless it loses the main areas. And, you know, it pulled back to 10K where they could have bought again, but they didn't want to buy again because they sold 8K. And now, you know, they don't want to buy 10K because that will make them look stupid. Oh shit, I sold 8K and I'm not going to buy 2K above my previous sell price. But that's actually wrong thinking, right? You fucked it up. I mean, you played probability games and you lost it, right? So now you got to go back in when the price is right again, and then you're probably missing like another 5-6K raise, right? So you shouldn't be sad if you sell too early or too late as well, right? So yeah, if you happen to sell it on 17K and it breaks out of 20K, that's your cue to go back into Bitcoin. Because once Bitcoin goes above 20K, you don't know where it's gonna stop. See, that's where the real fun begins, you know? So let's just say Bitcoin breaks above 20K and we got a couple of days daily closes above there. That's where the real fun starts, because now you have nothing to the left side. You have absolutely nothing to the left side, right? And then every price prediction is going to be useless, right? Because people are going to be saying, oh, it's going to be 30K, 40K. Exactly, like you just said, Satoshi, it's price discovery mode, right? So you're not going to be doing anything, right? Yeah. So how do you actually tackle price discovery modes, right? So for that, you know, to do something like this, right? Let's go back here. First thing you gotta remember is you are never gonna hit the top, right? Unless you're extremely lucky in price discovery mode, you won't hit the top. But what you can do about it, right? And again, you gotta have balls of steel. You gotta control the emotions because this shit happens, especially in crypto, right? How do you know when to sell? This is when you know when to sell, right? So you are on high time frames and you lost these levels, right? But that doesn't mean that when you go under these levels, you sell the lows. No, you're gonna expect a pullback, right? And you're gonna expect a pullback. And where is your sell area in this case? Well, it's from this to this, right? This. And as you can see, when we lost the levels, we came back, we touched briefly underneath that area. That was your sell point, and then it break down, right? So you wouldn't catch 20K. Even I wouldn't catch 20K, you know, I'm like, but I'm just saying, you know? And now you can see that you actually missed the top 13%. And in the trading, we got a good sense. I mean, we have a good saying that says, leave the top 20%, no, leave the top 10% and bottom 10% to the gamblers. And this is what I'm talking about. The top 10%, in this case 30% was for gamblers. You got it a little bit under, so you didn't sell 20K. You sold it at 17K. But important thing is, at those 17K, you know BTC is breaking down. You know you gotta get out of here. Well, those gamblers didn't know that. So those gamblers, then bet you, they bought again somewhere here, I don't know, 15K, and then they hold it back down to 7K, and they probably sold it, and then went up again, and they bought it again at 11K, and then sold it again. And this is how people fuck themselves up a lot, right? Alex, you forgot to say what happened. Well, if Bitcoin dominance bounces from that level, it's not gonna be nice, guys. I mean, you know, more debt for alts, you know, so then my theories about Ethereum is probably gonna be negated. It depends on how hard it bounces, right? If it does something like this and rejects, then it's not that bad, right? But if it does something like this, that it goes down and it goes above this shit, that's gonna be painful, you know? So then all of the alts will be wrecked again. That would be issue. But again, if you look at it, I mean, look at this Litecoin, right? I mean, look at this shit, man. Everything is on bottom. Everything is almost new lows, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's gonna be happening. That's gonna be happening, right? I mean, unless alts are gonna get hyper-wrecked, you know? Hyper-wrecked. Anyone who sold in the peak gap just got lucky. Yes, I mean, I'm gonna say, like, most of the time, like, obviously there are some people that are good, right? Obviously there are some people that have some sort of strategies that could potentially know even sooner when to sell. But those people are like less than probably 0.5%, probably even less than that. So yes, I'm gonna call most of the people who sold the top are lucky. Yeah, sorry, just about it. And if the new top gets in, if we go above 20K, you will see that the people who sold previously 20K won't sold the top again. Now, right? If they sold the top 2 times, then I'm gonna say, okay, maybe you got some sort of strategy. But if you're gonna miss the second top, then obviously did something lucky on the first top, right? Volume. Wait, we talked about volume, but what about stable coin circulation and mints? Do these provide any useful insight? Well, yeah, I mean, I got some people who watches these mints a lot. So when the new tokens are minted, when the fresh USDT tokens are minted, that's usually when the BTC pumps. I don't really follow that shit a lot. I mean, I don't know. I'm not so much a news-oriented trader, you know. You know me, that I mostly do TA, you know. So I don't look at it as some means perspective or not, right? I mean, yes, by time to time I do check some news. I do like to be like Ethereum 2.0, you know, like this time around Ethereum 2.0 and all 32 Ethereums can go into lockdown, right? So yeah, that is kind of news based, I guess. So I am taking some news in effect, but mostly my trading is based off TA, solely TA, no indicators, no shit, right? And yes, essentially speaking, I mean, it does provide some useful insight. And again, you know, this is where crypto is much easier. You know, if you want to trade news, crypto is for you, bro. I mean, you're not going to be trading news in a Forex. If you try and trade news in Forex, it's going to wreck you left and right, you know. You have so many banks, there's so many analysts working against you that you will most likely fail, right? But when it comes to crypto, you know, like I just know when we first time we heard 2.0 Ethereum right here. This is where the first thing was announced that 2.0 Ethereum was going to come out. No, I mean, just look at Ethereum, right? Right before that point, it was dead, right? It was not dead, but it was looking kind of bad, right? And look at that. From that news, 80% pump, right? So you can see shit like that would never happen in Forex, just like that. In Forex, you would probably have like this, you would have one candle up and then down and up, and you would be reacting both sides. You would be reacting shorters, you would be reacting longers, because that's what banks do. This is how they make money. This is how they fill their billions of dollars of positions. And yes, people on Forex have to fill billions of dollars of positions, and this is why they fuck up so many breakout traders, right? I mean, the best way for banks to fill their position is to fuck up breakout traders. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a breakout trader is. Like, let's just say if there's a level and now they say, oh, we're breaking above it. Yes, the people start smashing longs here, right? And what has happened, right? People start smashing longs here, and then Forex will do poof, right? And banks have just filled in billions of shorts right here and fuck up, right? And then it's gonna happen the same thing underneath, right? It's gonna be like this. Under shorters are gonna come in, and banks start filling up their long positions, and boom, they again fucked up billions of dollars from people, right? And while crypto, crypto, when you got positive news, it's just gonna moon, right? It doesn't give a shit from the left side to the, it doesn't give a shit for all the breakout traders and everything, right? I still don't see breakout trading as a good strategy, even in crypto. But in crypto, at least you're not punished as much as you are in regular markets. In regular markets, they will be punishing you for this shit left and right, So yes, I do still believe that crypto markets are much easier when it comes to trading than, regular markets. And if anybody wants to make this a profession, I definitely suggest you to start on these markets and then so. And once you get idea about levels, now this is where Forex shines a lot more than crypto, when you have ideas about levels, right? So you can see in crypto you get these giant gaps, you just go and you just moon without retesting the levels. While in Forex, if you have like a bunch of levels, you will do this multiple times, You will start doing like this before you will move up. So you will be testing these levels a lot more. And that's the beauty of Forex, is that almost every level always is tested. Before you move up, you will test all the levels and then you will move up. And this can either work in your advantage or you can work in your disadvantage, because depends on which time frame you trade. Because if you trade something in Forex on 5 minutes and you have 2 levels, you will be seeing this, right? You will touch a level on 5 minutes like 5 to 10 times, because you will have to touch that level again on 4 hours, and you will have to do kind of the same thing, right? So something that would look something like this on 4 hours, right, will look like this on 5 minutes, So that's a difference. So what you have to develop for Forex then, if you trade in low time frames, you have to develop when is the correct timing to enter that level. Because if you enter here, you're gonna get stopped out here, right? And then it's still gonna go sideways, and then it's gonna leave without you, right? So you have to develop a feeling for timing. You have to know, you have to kind of get that feeling when to go in, right? And yes, this is when it comes. It takes years of practice. This is why 95% of people fail in trading. It's mostly because of real markets, and how far Forex is, right? But I'm pretty sure if you invest yourself in trading and you do it every day, you try to do it every day, right? You read the charts, you do trading, you listen to podcasts. I'm not saying, and not any podcasts, right? I'm saying to smart people. It's hard to find smart people these days on YouTube, that's for sure, because a lot of people are based on indicators. And I already talked a lot about indicators, how they just show you the past and not the future or anything else, right? And yes, if you try to do that for 5 years and you do it every day, in 5 years, I'm pretty sure you're going to be a profitable trader. You're going to be making some money from trading in 5 years, right? But most people won't not even last close to 5 years. It takes a lot of time, but it's also rewarding at the end of the day, right? And also when you see this Instagram dudes living with Lambos and, I don't know, like they have, I don't know, a couple of $1 billion houses, or they have 5 Lambos and all of that. That's all bullshit. Like traders don't live like that at all. Like this is stupid, right? When you see this shit, like 5 car or 10 car garages and like this. I'm not saying like once you're managing like hundreds and hundreds and millions, it can happen, right? But it's mostly bullshit. A regular trader doesn't live like that at all, It's not the common lifestyle, myself, I like to live relatively simple, because you don't know when the markets are gonna change, and you just want to be stacking that money, right? You just want to stack that money up so that you can retire early and also put them in other investments, like kind of a really good investments are dividends. I really like to invest my money in dividends every month, you know. So you also are kind of a hedge against you, right? But, you know, as a proper trader, you wouldn't be spending much money on car because it's going to hurt you. You're going to go out there and going to say, shit, look at this car, man. It's going to cost me 20R or 30R, right? Or it's going to cost me like 5 trades or something like this, you know. That's one habit you also get when you trade for a really long time. You calculate everything you're trading, and then you actually go out and try and buy something, and then you see, oh shit, this is going to cost me so much in trades. Then it's just like, fuck that shit, I don't need it, you know. So yeah, most of the people you see it on YouTube that live that kind of a lifestyle are just basically faking it, because, you know, you need to be really good at controlling your emotions if you want to be pulling that shit, right? And if you're flexing all over on Instagram, that means your emotions are not in check. You're actually, you know, you're just actually lost. You don't even know what your personality is and all of that shit, right? Okay, guys, holy shit, the stream has been going on for an hour. We gotta stop it right here, guys. So yeah, I mean, shit, that was a long stream. That was probably the longest stream we did, huh? I mean, I really talked a lot, goddamn. So yeah, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We release the videos on daily, right? We're also gonna revive our chat, right? Foresee live, free chat. So you're also welcome to join there. I'll start posting all the videos in there. Why not, right? And yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed stream. We're gonna do it next week again on 17. Okay, yeah.
Same time.
Same time,
guys.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, thank you for joining, guys. We'll be seeing you in a week. Take care. Like the videos. Check them out. They're gonna be uploaded daily, except on Sunday, right? So yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.